In today's episode, John asks, what's the most undervalued trend in business that marketers aren't grasping? A really interesting question. I'm not a futurist in any way. I tend to be more of a nowist because the future is becoming increasingly difficult to predict as technology in particular changes more and more rapidly. But there are two trends that I believe marketers aren't paying attention to, which one should have you a little worried, and the other should either be making you jump for joy or scare the hell out of you, depending on your business model and how you personally interact with the world. So the first one, which pretty much everybody should realize, but aren't taking into account when I listen to people talking about their annual planning and stuff, is that a recession is on the way. There are increasingly softening economic indicators. There are little bits and bubbles and froth and all that wonderful stuff that indicates that things in the economy, at least in America, are about as good as they're going to get, and maybe turning downward already. So if you're planning for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, does not have a scenario in which the economy takes a slow decline and the economy takes a fast decline, then you haven't done a good enough job with your planning. Because there is absolutely a scenario where things stay as they are for another 12 months or so. It's possible. I don't have a lot of confidence in that possibility, but it is possible. The slow decline is one in which I think is probably the most likely outcome based on all the current indicators. Things will just sort of taper off and business will get a little bit harder, but not like disastrously harder. And then, of course, is the third option, which I see as less likely unless there's some major geopolitical shock where things just come to a screeching halt. The slow decline, to me, seems to fit historical trends and patterns. So that's number one. I don't think marketers are paying attention to that. Everyone is assuming that the good times will continue being good times, that easy will keep being easy, and there are no plans in place to adjust for that. The second trend is a much more macro trend, and that is a trend of disintermediation. People aren't seeing disintermediation happening and I don't know why, because it's obvious. Everywhere you go, companies, businesses, brands are all trying to get to the customer, going direct to the customer. How can they remove friction, and how can they remove things that impede profitability and profit margins? We see this, for example, in B2C, where we have things like kiosks now for doing customer service, for doing order taking. This week I'm in San Francisco for the Marketing Profits B2B Forum Conference, and local McDonald's, no front end staff for order taking. It's all kiosks, and this is becoming more and more the trend. Here in this city, there is a burger shop that's going to put McDonald's through its paces. It's completely automated. Humans stop by to refill the machines, but the machines do all the work. They take the order, they cook the meal, they assemble it, and that spits it out, and you get your burger and fries. Now, those are B2C examples. What about B2B examples? Businesses want to get to the customer too. There's a term in business, in the B2B world especially, and really in the tech world, the value-added reseller. And it's become something of an oxymoron because a lot of resellers don't add value. All they do is add markup and cost. And a fair number of businesses have realized that either they need better partners or they need to go direct to the customer themselves. And technology gives them that ability to go direct to the customer and completely skip the reseller. And that is a trend. That trend of disintermediation has been a trend for 20 years. It's accelerating now because of artificial intelligence, because of automation, because of machine learning. Things that were too difficult or extremely tough to scale in the past because of the constraints of human beings and people are now much easier to scale. So we see marketing automation software having chat capabilities, chatbot capabilities. We see natural language processing really being used well in production to do analysis. We see advanced analytics, deep learning being applied to analytics by at least by the biggest companies, and that trend will continue and it will accelerate because that's what delivers great profit margins, right? When you can scale and the scale of value that you deliver is accelerating and is greater than the scaling of your costs, that is a trend that will only pick up because every business wants better, faster, cheaper. Every consumer, every customer wants better, faster, cheaper. And every B2B business wants to save money, save time, and make money. Those are the core benefits. Those are the things that don't change. And as a result, anything that helps a business achieve those things faster is going to be the trend. It's going to be the thing that everybody wants. So those are the two undervalued trends. The economic decline and then the disintermediation powered by artificial intelligence. The disintermediation macro trend picking up steam. What makes the latter one undervalued is that people don't have a good grasp of what is possible or not possible in machine learning, and as a result, they can't wrap their brains around the value of that trend or the inherent risk it poses to, if not their jobs, certainly their role within a company. People need to be prepared to adapt, to be flexible, and to be lifelong learners who can change with the times and do new things as machines pick up the tasks that either they don't do as well or they don't want to do. When you look at what is in marketing, there's a whole bunch of tasks that are low value, that are not fun, that frankly we don't add any value to, that the machines could do better, faster, cheaper. So what are the things that we do? What are the things that what do you do that a machine has difficulty doing and that adds value? That's a real question for you and I to both think about as time goes on. But certainly, I would strongly advise you, if you are not already planning for the recession, plan for it, because that will push machine learning to the forefront. Machine learning's cheaper than people, and if you are in a recession, you want to cut costs everywhere you can. So make sure that you are doing your best to be that lifelong learner and to be ready for the downturn and to be ready to provide even more value to your company and to your customers in the downturn. So those are the trends. Would love to hear your thoughts about the trends. Leave them in the comments. And as always, subscribe to the newsletter and the YouTube channel. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.